Good morning. I'm Dr. Rochelle McGee-Combs. I'm the undergraduate coordinator for the Department of Criminal Justice, and I welcome our social media viewers in the inaugural session of MVSU alumTALK, featuring the alumni of the Department of Criminal Justice. We have some wonderful panelists slash practitioners who are excited to share their experience in the field of criminal justice. The purpose of this session is to generate conversation between our students and our alumni. In the future, here at Mississippi Valley State University, there will be more sessions such as these. But today would be our session featuring the Department of Criminal Justice. At this time, I welcome Dr. Abigail Newsom. Good morning. I'm Dr. Rochelle McGee-Cobbs. I'm the undergraduate coordinator for the Department of Criminal Justice here at Mississippi Valley State University. Welcome our social media viewers to the 2-hour first inaugural session of the MVSU alumTALK featuring the alumni of the Department of Criminal Justice. We have some wonderful panelists, practitioners who are excited to share their experience or expertise in the field of criminal justice. The purpose of this session is to generate conversation between our students and our alumni. We will have several other sessions such as this, but today we're featuring the Department of Criminal Justice. Welcome, Dr. Abigail Newsom. How are you doing this morning?
Hello, Dr. Cobbs. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Today, the Office of Academic Affairs and the Alumni Association have partnered to bring to you what we are terming alumTALK for academics. This is our inaugural broadcast season, and we hope that you enjoy. As part of the gifts and fortunes that the alum that are here today are providing, are fortunes such as their time, as well as some of their treasures. They will share their experiences at Mississippi Valley State University and avenues that can benefit those studying in the area of criminal justice toward any professional career. We hope that you enjoy this session and that you come back for our other talks that will be forthcoming and announced and broadcast on the same venue. Again, I'm Abigail Newsom, the Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs, and we welcome you all and hope you have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Newsom. At this time, we have 5 panelists, and I'm going to call them by name, and each one of them would introduce him or herself. The first one is Chief Xavier Redmond, Dr. Aura Starks, Thurman Richardson, Maxine Craig, and Captain Reese Walker. At this time, we will start with Chief Redmond, introducing himself, and the others will follow.
Good morning. I'm Xavier Redmond. I'm a graduate of Mississippi Valley State. I graduated in '96 with a degree in criminal justice. I've been in law enforcement now 25 years. Just excited to be here this morning to share my experiences in the world of law enforcement.
Thank you, Chief Redmond. Dr. Aura Starks, please.
Now, I'm currently the warden of the Bolivar County Regional Correctional Facility in Cleveland, Mississippi. I graduated from Mississippi Valley State in 1994 and also 1999. I am also a history maker, being the first female warden and first African-American female warden of the Bolivar County Regional Correctional Facility.
Great, Dr. Starks. A female warden, great. Now we will hear from Mr. Thurman Richardson.
Good morning, everyone. I am Lieutenant Thurman Richardson. I am also a graduate of Mississippi Valley State University, the best HBCU on this side of heaven. I've have 24 years plus of law enforcement experience, and I get all of my ethics, my morals started right there at Mississippi Valley State University. There are a lot of accomplishments. I couldn't have done it by myself. However, that grit and grind came right from the Valley, baby. So, I'm just really excited about today. I'm really excited about making more people excited about coming to MVSU and other major HBCUs. But, my heart lies with the Valley.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Now we'll hear from Captain Reese Walker.
Good morning. I am a proud graduate of the Valley, class of 1996. Currently, I reside in the beautiful city of Memphis, Tennessee. I work for Shelby County government with the Division of Corrections. I'm the administrative captain at the division. I'm also a certified jail manager through the American Jail Association. I also serve currently on the board of directors with the American Jail Association. I pride myself at being the best at Mississippi Valley State University.
Thank you, Captain. And I want to really thank you all for taking the time to come to talk to our students here at Mississippi Valley State University. Before we get started, we will have another guest who will join us today, who serves a bridge between alumni and our students. He is the director of alumni relation. His name is Caleb Winfield, and we'll be able to talk more and introduce him later on in this presentation. But at this time, we want to start with the questions. And I feel as though the students are awaiting your powerful responses to these questions. And we're going to start with Chief Redmond, our Chief Redmond here at Mississippi Valley State University. So my first question, Chief Redmond, what would be your recommendation to a graduating criminal justice senior, and why?
Well, my recommendation would be to first understand exactly what it is that you want to do. Pick the field that you want to go in, because when you think about criminal justice, and it's a big umbrella of things that you can do. As you can see, you have Captain Reese Walker on as a jail administrator. We got Dr. Orr Cobbs as Starks. Excuse me, Dr. Orr Starks is a warden of a jail. We got Lieutenant. There are different arms of law enforcement that you can go in. You know, when you think about criminal justice, as far as going to law school. So just focus on what it is that you want to do, choose that field, and stick with it. For myself, I had no idea exactly what I wanted to do. So I always tell people, you know, law enforcement chose me. So I chose a department. I went back home and started at home where I could be around people that can mentor me. And I think that's key when you're trying to find your field. Find somebody that can mentor you and order your steps, so to speak. I have a son that I was able to help matriculate through the law enforcement field. He wasn't a criminal justice major, but because of my experiences, I was able to help him choose, help direct his path. So I just think just finding a mentor and just and let them help you guide your steps, so to speak.
Thank you, Chief Redmond. I'm just going to ask you something else as it relates to that question. Now, when you graduated, did you continue to your academic journey at Mississippi Valley State University or any other university, or did you begin immediately working in the field?
I basically started working in the field after graduation. I graduated in May of '96. I started in law enforcement August 1st of '96 with the Greenville Police Department. So I didn't go back and start my postgraduate degree because once I got into my field, I just I concentrated solely on that. Like I said, with my mentor. Trying to understand the realms of law enforcement, how it worked. So for me, I just stuck with trying to figure out which direction I want to go in my career. So I found that niche. I think, investigations was the thing that I enjoyed most during my time. So yeah, I spent a lot of time doing a lot of drug work. So for me, I concentrated on my career more so than come back to school.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, the next question is for Dr. Orr Starks. Dr. Orr Starks, what was the something you underestimated by choosing criminal justice as a profession?
One of the things I underestimated as being a female in this profession, that some were challenging because of being a female in regards to getting promoted and moving up ranks. And it just seems as a female, you have to go the extra mile to show yourself, prove that, and prove to them that you're qualified and able to perform the job.
Okay, Dr. Starks, can you provide a more specific example about the challenges, the challenges that you face being a female and working through the ranks, becoming the warden of Mississippi Department of Correction, or one of the wardens at the Mississippi Department of Correction?
Sure. One example would be when I applied for this position in 2013. I was female that applied for the position. It was 8 of us that interviewed, and I wasn't from Bolivar County. And I know sometimes positions can be political, so I felt that the odds were up against me. But through it all, I was selected. I was very elated, and as I moved forward, I never day when the sheriff had introduced me at the board meeting. That was my first time meeting everybody. And one of the things that was said to me during the meeting when I was about to introduce myself to everybody was that I heard good things about you and some bad things. So I didn't know how to take that. And believe it or not, it's broadcast on TV, but they did edit that out. So a lot of things were going through my mind at that time. And I just said, I'm just going to take the high road out. I'm not going to talk negative or say anything negative. I'm going to maintain my professionalism. And so once I began to go over my resume with them, my accomplishments, my achievement, and my education, and I'm a believer, I'm going to let my work speak for me.
Thank you, Dr. Starks. Let me ask you one more thing after that. After you became the warden there at Mississippi Department of Correction, and normally you have a lot of male subordinates. Can you describe how did you handle such opposition or challenges dealing with those individuals?
Yes. At times it was difficult because so many people felt that this is a man's job. And sometimes I felt that some men, they did have a problem taking directive from a female. But one thing I always have done, I've respected my staff. They respect me. I follow the policy of teachers. I be fair, firm, and consistent. And when I give directives, I stand firm on them.
Thank you, Dr. Starks. The next question we would have Lieutenant Thurman Richardson. Lieutenant, if you were a junior or senior criminal justice major, and you met a criminal justice MVSU professional, what would you seek from them?
Well, basically what I would seek from them is a plan. This is what I would urge all individuals who are in the criminal justice system or field at Mississippi Valley State. I would urge you to have a plan, at least a 2-year plan. One of the things that you need to do is try to acclimate yourself in the area of criminal justice by doing some sort of internship or getting into the grand scheme of things. Even if you're not getting paid for during your summers, you're needing to get that particular experience. It's one thing to get the book or the education, but it's quite yet another thing in order to get that hands-on experience, because that's reality. I know that we get a lot of great instructions from our professors at Mississippi Valley State University. However, when you get to the thick of things, when you get into the courtrooms, when you get into the jail systems, when you get into the actual hands-on thing, there could be some quite variations from it, and it actually can be a game changer as it relates to, do I go left or do I go right? I'm not as interested in actually being the police, but I may want to be a person who will defend those individuals who are not able to defend themselves. So that's the biggest thing that I would ask for a junior in the Mississippi Valley State criminal justice field. I would ask them, what is your plan? And what have you done in order to enact your plan?
Thank you, Lieutenant. Lieutenant Richardson, if you think back when you were a student here at Mississippi Valley State University, there were some challenges. Can you describe such challenges and how you were able to maneuver through the CJ arena and become the lieutenant at your agency?
All right. So as I probably shared previously with a lot of individuals, when I came to Mississippi Valley State in 1989, we had no air conditioning. We had heat only. Sometimes work. We had big mosquitoes. We had 2 TV channels that only worked up until 7 o'clock, and then the American flag would wave you bye-bye, and then you were on your own. There was also our meal card at Mississippi Valley State, where it was antiquated. They would actually mark the backside of your meal plan. What am I saying? Oh, the telephones. Jesus Christ. One telephone. Pay telephone on one hallway, and you trusted that somebody would knock on your door and tell you that you got an incoming phone call. But let me tell you how they prepared me for the real world. Whenever there were obstacles that came my way, and God knows there were obstacles that came my way, I did undercover. I arrested probably one of the largest drug dealers in the Southeast region of the United States, being on the task force. Being in situations where it was fight or flight, it was no question. It's time to fight. I ain't fleeing. And that's just what it is. That's this mentality that I gathered and gained at a HBCU, Mississippi Valley State, because we had to get it. And the professors, the teachers, the students, I mean, they got behind you and said, hey, man, we don't balk. We walk. And that's what we were all about. And that's one of the main reasons why I would never, ever change my experience of changing the university, going from Mississippi Valley State to any other university. I love Mississippi Valley State University.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Amen.
I know, right?
At this time, we would have Captain Reese Walker. Captain Reese Walker, at this time, is there any way possible that what would you recommend faculty members in the Criminal Justice Department here at Mississippi Valley State University do to prepare future practitioners in the field of criminal justice?
Wow, that's an excellent question. On my current job, I served as the training manager for 7 years. So my staff was the first face that an employee would see. And we saw a lot of individuals who were coming to the field unprepared. So what I would recommend for faculty members is to continue to stress good writing, because in this field, our reports, it what? Save our jobs, keep the litigations down. Excellent report writing is a lifesaver in corrections. Also, what we're doing today, mentorship. I would recommend the faculty partner with agencies and alums to give people an insight on what they're stepping into, because in corrections and law enforcement, it takes special people to work in this field. Especially in corrections. Dr. Ward Stark, she can probably agree with me on this. We work in a thankless field. A lot of times at career days in elementary school, you'll see kids that stand up and say, what do you want to be? I want to be a police officer. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. It's very rare for a student to stand and say, I want to be a correction officer. So it takes special people to do what we do. And we want people who have high ethical standards. If you have no ethics, this is not the field for you. So that's what one thing, and stress ethics, good decision making, and mentor. That's what I would suggest to the faculty.
Right. Yes, yes.
Thank you, Captain. You know, here at Mississippi Valley State University, I do hear students complain about writing or engaging in research, and some have expressed that they don't see where the writing that they would have to write in such a way when they get into the field. Can you enlighten our students about, I know you mentioned about having very strong writing skills, but how the instructions here at Mississippi Valley State University prepared you and your writing skills in the workplace?
My mind goes back to Miss Maxine Smith over in the English department. And she used to tell us all the time, you got to burn that midnight oil. Being at the Valley, you know, I was like, why I got to do this? Why I got to do this? Being in the field now, the report writing, those 5 elements, the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, painting a clear picture. Because if we use force in our day-to-day, and you will use force in this field, you have to paint that picture to justify that action. If you don't articulate it in writing, because you don't know who your audience may be. It may be a judge, it may be a juror, because that report is what's going to save your job and save your livelihood. So I stress students who don't like writing, get used to it. If you're going to remain in this field, in this major, get used to it.
All right.
Thank you, Captain. And I may add as well is that writing is very important. And one of the panelists mentioned that he or she informed the students or expressed to the students that it is great to have a plan, okay? And the key thing, I believe all of you who are participating, all the panelists today are leaders in the CJ field. I believe all of you execute a plan. I believe all of you have great writing skills. I also believe that you have a great rapport with the people that you work with. Now at this time, Chief Redmond, is it any way possible that you, being our chief here at Mississippi Valley State University, can explain how you, as a chief of police here at Mississippi Valley, execute plan to do what you need to do over at the police department?
Well, for me, you first have to recognize what the problem is, or where you lack, or what situation may be. So when I first came here, Mississippi Valley, my first thing was to engage with students. And I always tell people, when I mentor young police officers, you're only as good as the relationships that you build. If you don't have a rapport with your community or the people that you serve, then you will never have an understanding of where you need to start fixing the issues. So for me, here in Mississippi Valley, my thing is to engage with students. I'm always engaging with students because that's the only way I understand what their needs are, or what they feel like may be important or make them feel safe. So I first have to understand what their needs are, so I can build a plan and understand what the vision is of the university. So when you understand what the vision of the leaders of the university is and understand what the students need, that's when you can execute your plan or start to build plan to put in effect. So for me, it's just building relationships and understanding what the vision is, and then you coordinate those two, you put them together, and for me, that's how I was able to come in and understand where we needed to improve in certain areas and things of that nature. So networking is key.
Thank you, Chief. The next question is for Dr. Starks. In this current climate of racial and socioeconomic division and rising criminal activity, how do you and fellow criminal justice practitioners maintain motivation to keep going?
Well, with that being said, to maintain the motivation to keep going, and we see it every day that's in the news. And one thing I always remember is stand firm on what you believe in, and just try to be fair and equal to everybody. And sometimes it can get hard, but you have to keep going. You have to stay motivated. Just as in the jail, even with the inmates, I make sure I make time to go around to the housing units and talk to all of the offenders, to see how they feel about certain things and what they think about what's going on, because I think it's very important, because they're away from their families, away from home, and they have a lot of things that's going through their minds. So I just try to maintain stability with my jail and with staff as well.
Thank you, Dr. Starks. And may I ask as well, when you're in the field, and particularly working in corrections, even in law enforcement, even in the judicial system, there always are issues with negativity. People being negative about their job or other folk that are working with them as their co-workers. How would you inform or educate our students in dealing with such negativity? And also, what would you prescribe to them or express to them as to how to remain motivated in the workplace?
One thing I always say, I think one of my peers mentioned something about, you got to have a plan. And once you have a plan, you have to execute that plan. In regards to staying motivated, you have to love what you do if you work in law enforcement. And I tell anybody, it's not like you're going to get rich or make $1 million, but you got to love what you do to stay in law enforcement. And one thing that keeps me motivated, I like to help people. And I always remind myself, the inmates, they're serving time for whatever crimes that they have committed. But we've all have done wrong in some point of our lives. And I just feel that some of us have gotten caught and some of us have not. And you can't forget where you come from. And so that's pretty much how you can continue to maintain your motivation, just stay focused on what you believe in.
Thank you, Dr. Starks. Thank you. Very, very great response. Lieutenant Richardson, the next question is for you. And that question is, did you have a mentor as a student or professional? And how important is mentorship in the life of criminal justice student and professional?
Well, to be honest with you, when I was a student at Mississippi Valley State University, my major was political science, had a concentration of pre-law and a minor in criminal justice. But I was more or less trying to lean toward the business field. So I really didn't have a mentor in criminal justice, but my mentor really was my dad. And my dad was my principal in high school. And he mentored me all the time when it comes to whatever I did. And he always was my glue. He was my director. He was my lighthouse in a storm because he would always say, keep pressing, keep pushing, regardless of what obstacles that you come against. No is not an answer. Failure is not an answer. And it was underlined by instructors and professors like your Dr. Thomas's, your Dr. E. Rose. Even when in my electives, the music director, Dr. Sandra Scott, it was always a mentality of mentoring. When they had an opportunity to pull you to the side, it was great. So mentorship is important when it comes to directing us in this particular field. I'm mentoring my daughter right now as it relates to law enforcement, and she's wanting to follow my footsteps. It's imperative. It is important that we, as graduates, especially in the criminal justice field, mentor somebody along the way so that they don't have to have the struggles that we had. It's good to have struggles, don't get me wrong. But if they don't have to go through some unnecessary struggles, be that mentor, be that person that's going to be that guide in life for them.
Thank you, Lieutenant. At this time, we have Major Maxine Craig, who just joined us. And before we continue, thank you again, Lieutenant. But at this time, we want Maxine Craig, our major, who has retired from the Memphis Police Department. Can you briefly introduce yourself, please? Major Craig? Good morning, Major. How are you? Okay, moving on. At this time, we would go with Captain Reese.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next question is, what is your opinion on the fastest growing field of study in criminal justice? Cybersecurity or cybercrime?
Wow. You have it's ironic. You got the WikiLeaks and all of those things. I would say cyber crimes because you got so many hacking going on, the forensics. So I would say cyber crime would probably be the fastest growing field.
Okay, now in your area, you work in corrections, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, can you relate that to cybersecurity or cybercrime that you very well may be experiencing in your agency?
In my agency, right now, currently at my agency, I'm not aware of any cybersecurity or any cyber crimes that's going on at our facility, for as any individuals who may be sentenced during time at my facility, I'm not aware of currently.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And let me ask you another question. In your opinion, if a problem of cybersecurity issues or crime is happening in your agencies or is a threat to your agency, how would your agency plan for such an attack or such an infraction?
In law enforcement, we partner with different entities and different agencies. So we will work together with various agencies to attack the situation, get the resolution, and prepare for future.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
At this time, we're going back to Major Maxine Craig.
Hello.
Hello, Major. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, I'm Major Maxine Craig. I am a 35-year veteran, retired from the Memphis Police Department, and my 3 decades police work. I got to do patrol investigations. I was over several units, and I can say I had a rewarding career.
Thank you, Major. Now, in your opinion, what values do you think studying criminal justice taught you, and explain?
Ballet prepared me most, I would say. I learned how to persevere. Being on the Memphis Police Department in a male domineering job, you have to be able to persevere through those times where you don't think that you can make it. And I said to our seniors and our juniors now that at Valley, you're going to have those times where you don't think that you're going to be able to make it. But Valley taught me perseverance. And through my career on the police department, there was ups, there was downs, but I promise you, those ups outweighed those downs. And it established me in a place as though when I left Valley, I'm still able to go out into the workforce, and I'm able to have an enjoyable life. I want the criminal justice majors to know the police department, even though it's trying, it is definitely a good career.
Thank you, Major. And Major, when you were a student here at Mississippi Valley State University, were there any regrets that you very well experienced that you can relate to the students here at MVSU?
Yes, yes. There was an instance, and if I had to sum it up in one word, it would be fear. I was getting ready to graduate my senior year, and the FBI came to Mississippi Valley to recruit. They were looking for females, and they was looking for females in criminal justice that had a 3.0 above GPA, and I met that criteria. And the guy called me. As a matter of fact, he begged me to apply. He told me he would teach me everything that I needed, and I would be retired in 20 years. But due to fear, I didn't take that opportunity. And I want to let the graduates of Valley and the criminal justice majors at Valley know that there are a lot of opportunities out there for you. Do not be afraid. Take those opportunities.
Thank you, Major. Now, my next question is for Dr. Starks. And I must say, Dr. Aura Starks. Here at Mississippi Valley State University, we have students who graduate, they continue on to graduate school, and they get their master's degree. And by you being a graduate of Mississippi Valley State University, a female warden at Mississippi Department of Correction, a PhD in the field of criminal justice, what can you, or what advice that you can give to our students in pursuing the ultimate degree?
The advice that I would give to the to pursuing the ultimate is believe in yourself, have a plan, and you execute that plan and you pursue it. Also, another thing I believe of is creating a vision board, setting your goals, because it's nothing like you having a vision, see it. And this is the goal that you're trying to reach. And it's not going to be easy. I had many, many late nights. I was the warden at that time. I lost both of my parents at that time when I was working on my doctorate degree. And even my professors asked me, did I want to take a break? And I felt if I had taken a break, I wasn't gonna continue to pursue it. And I just stayed firm. I would go back and look at my vision board. I would go back and look at my goals. I continued to work hard and just study. Also, I really didn't have a social life, and it really didn't matter because I had my eye on the prize, and that was to become a doctor with a PhD in criminal justice.
Thank you, Dr. Starks. At this time, I mentioned earlier that we'll be bringing someone else on that would be bridging the gap between the alumni and our students. And that person is our great director of alumni relations, Kylan Winfield. Can you come on and introduce yourself, please?
Greetings, everybody. I am Kylan Alfred Winfield, the Director of Alumni Relations at our beloved institution, Mississippi Valley State University. I am a 2013 graduate, and I too came out of the social sciences. I was a political science major, and it's just an honor to see some of our great alums coming back to the Valley, though virtually, giving back to our students who desperately need their influence and help. And this is a start to something that is monumental and something that is going to grow and be great. And so I'm just glad that all of you all could join us, whether you're alum or students. This has been a great event, and I've enjoyed it. And I look forward to helping with some more of these events in the future to help engage alum and engage our students and bridge that gap.
Thank you, Mr. Alfred Winford. At this time, we want to, well, my question, I have a question for you, Mr. Winfield. How do you think criminal justice alumni of MVSU can reach back and help current students in the major?
Well, it's several ways I think that can happen. Platforms such as this with alumTALKs, utilizing their social media platforms, reaching out to students, showcasing what they are doing currently. Something as small as if those individuals get to a position where they have an office in their particular workplace, hanging that Valley degree up proud, showcasing paraphernalia, reaching back, and sometimes even financially. If we have a number of different initiatives, the departments may have different things they may need, reaching back and, hey, writing a check or sending a few dollars so that the department can get those resources they need to help benefit the students. And just being engaging. Whether it's coming back for homecoming, speaking to a student that you see in that department, coming and speak to a class, there are a number of different ways that I think alum can help reach back to students. It doesn't always have to be financially. Sometimes it can be through mentorship, and that's one of the major things with this platform right here. Though we're forced to be virtual due to weather or even the pandemic, this is a form of mentorship, and I think the mentorship is the greatest form of giving back to the students.
Thank you, Mr. Winfield. At this time, I want to thank each and every person who participated in this alum talk this morning. And especially, I want to thank the panelists for taking the time to even come to even talk to us, our students, our faculty, and our administration. Also, I want to remind everyone, this is our first inaugural session. And throughout the year, we will continue to provide such sessions. And the next one would be featuring the Department of Natural Sciences, which will be scheduled February the 25th at 11 o'clock. And the next thing I want to make sure I stress, everyone who participated to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to the MVSU National Association, National Alumni Association YouTube channel. Again, Dr. Newsom, are you still on? Can you end this session, please?
Yes. Right. Again, as Dr. Cobbs mentioned, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in today and to extend a large thanks to our panelists. Please know that these panelists have committed to 10 hours of mentorship each with our students in the Criminal Justice Department, and they've made a financial contribution
Thank you. Guys, at this time, we're going to say farewell, but the panelists, I pray that we have a strong partnership with you all, in particular with our Department of Criminal Justice. We look to contact you, hopefully in the near future, to provide seminars if you agree to do so. Lieutenant Richardson, I do apologize. I tell you, over this course of a time, I do know that you have a lovely voice, but we are live, and I can tell you each person on here, not only Richardson, but Chief Redmond, Captain Reese Walker, Dr. Aura Starks, Major Maxine Craig. We appreciate you again. I cannot say too much, but I want to make sure that I thank you all, not only from myself, from our students, from our administration, and also our faculty. Thank you. And guys, you all have a blessed day.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.